So good evening, everyone. We are welcome to today's BYC. My name is Dr. Ore, and I'm your host for today. As a reminder, Lifestyle Champions International is a place where we encourage like-minded people to make healthy lifestyle choices every day. And we discover that when we hear the stories of people who have made lifestyle changes, it inspires other people to make a similar change, and those changes are actually life-changing. Like I always say, what we eat, what we drink, how well we sleep, how well we connect with friends, relations, acquaintances, people around us, our social connections, how well we manage stress. I'm always talking about stress management as well. All those things are very important and they impact on our quality of life as well as health outcomes. So today is another day for us to hear the personal story of one of us. We listened to the story of Mrs. Oyewole last month. I'm sure we remember all that she shared, and there are so many of us who are willing and waiting to share their stories just to encourage other people so that we can have a better health-related quality of life. So I really want to welcome us warmly. In the house today, I have with me my co-host Ore Kolade. We have Adenike, we have Abimbola Oki. Well, we have Enel. I don't know who this is. Maybe you should rename yourself so we can recognize you. Oladipo Oluwakemi, Oyebimpe Oyeleke, Stephen Adedewe, Badmus Owulabi, Bola Tito, Bonola. So yeah, welcome, Saz and Maz. I'm so glad to see you here, and I'm sure that you're going to gain a lot from this conversation. Dr. Nanklin Lam, okay, you're welcome. So glad to have you. So we're just going to hit it right off. And I'm going to start by introducing our guests for tonight. I hope you can all hear me loud and clear.
Yes, please.
Okay. So permit me to introduce our guests for today. His name is Mr. Oyewole. He's a married man, married to one wife, and that wife is a woman. He works for a publicly quoted manufacturing firm with interests in food. Food is so important to all of us. So interest in food, agribusiness, and packaging with over 26 years post-graduation experience. And one of the major hobbies he has is singing. And I'm sure singing is a way for him to relieve stress. So you're very much welcome, sir. And we're so glad, we're honored that you're willing to share your story with us this evening. So I'm going to put you on the spotlight so that we can hear from you.
Thank you for having me, Dr. Ore Makinde.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. I've been introduced. My name is Oyewole, and I'll wait for Dr. Ore to take me through this for any question she might want to ask. And I will be very glad to share my experience. It's been life-changing for me. So I hold it that for now as we flow.
Thank you, sir. So the question I have for you, sir, have you had any health challenge, that made you seek to make a lifestyle change? And what was that challenge, and how did you go about making a change to bring some respite or to bring a change in whatever you were going through at that time?
Mine was a case of about 25% loss of sleep. I think I was barely sleeping for maybe 3, 4 hours in the night. My day is always full. The night that I was supposed to be sleeping, I couldn't actually sleep. That was the experience that I had. And I want to consider that as a major health challenge because it was impacting on my, blood pressure. Uh, I'll call it constant headache, loss of, is it attention or focus in the course of the day. So I consider those as health challenges, except, professionals will tell me otherwise.
Okay, so you weren't sleeping well. You were sleeping for just about 3 to 4
No,
hours. And then you discovered that you were having headaches. You weren't able to concentrate well at work. So this gave you a lot of concern.
very correct.
Okay. So
Yes, please.
what changes did you make? Because I know a lot of people complain about poor sleep. In fact, I encounter a lot of patients who come to the hospital because they can't sleep well at night. And it impacts on practically every aspect of their life. So how were you able to manage that? Because I expect that now you are sleeping well now. Are you sleeping well now? Is
Yeah,
there a difference between
of
what
course,
it was?
much better.
Oh,
Really, I think one of the things that saved me was I spoke up. I spoke with a friend who happened to be Dr. Kenny Makinde, the husband of the anchor for today. And just like, okay, no, that's what my wife specializes in. Are you serious? You know, I didn't even know that my wife had been part of this program online. So my wife sent the link to me, one of your old lectures or something I read. But Kenny actually added the fire. Thinking, no, I'm going to talk to my wife. She's going to talk to you. That was the beginning. So I would say, social life too have to be, how would I call it, made fresh for you to speak up and talk to people that can actually point you in the right direction. Speaking to Kenny was a life-changing for me experience for me because if I had not spoken to Kenny, Kenny wouldn't have directed me to Dr. Ore, who happened to be his wife. I wouldn't have been able to taste of that good, experience that I have today.
wow, that is really instructive. It's really instructive. I was in a conversation with a few of my old classmates, and we were talking about how some of us don't reach out to other people when we have issues, we have challenges, and how people now become prone to one illness or the other. They don't get help on time. And then we suddenly hear that, oh, this happened to that person. And we're wondering, but we've been together. We never heard anything about that. So social connections are important. You're reminding me of that word, social connectedness, our relationship, with important others, significant others in our lives. So just being able to reach out to one person made the difference. Okay, sir. So
Yes.
can you tell us a bit more? So after you
So
listened to that podcast, that lecture, what did you discover about yourself, sir?
I was emboldened to actually, do the simple things they asked me to do. The first thing I was asked to do was to share my experience, my sleeping pattern, and all that. Okay, I tried to sleep, it wouldn't come. I was asked about the lighting in the room, and I was given some of the podcasts by Dr. Ori, which I listened to very well. And the simple things I learned there was that the color of the lighting in the room actually has something to do with the quality of sleep I have at night. So the first thing was that I should go from the daylight to the normal, like golden light bulb, which I did. That was one of the issues I handled. Then the second thing was this, I'll call it very bad culture of looking at phones at night. because of the nature of what we do, at times we find ourselves having, I would call them backlogs of things to check on phone at night. And I'm deeply into that. In the evenings, I will, while in bed, I will open my phone. I'll be scrolling through what are the things that I need to attend to and all of that. It was taking a bit of my energy, a bit of my sleep, useful sleep time. And the light of the phone itself, I did not know. Really, I read about them, but when someone that is close tells you something, you should take it seriously, and a professional for that matter. So when doctor said, no, 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 you can't be playing with your phone at night, the blue rays and all that and all that and all that. So I knew I had to do something serious. So I call it stylishly because it was difficult actually to stop. Some of these things are official. Some of these things are part of the social life that you have to catch on to. Some of these things are part of the social life that you have to catch on to, send chat to someone, drop all those things in the interest of my health. My BP wasn't getting better at that before I started. And miraculously, I will say clearly, I saw a marked drop in my blood pressure. My concentration got better. And anytime I relapsed, I felt it almost immediately. Anytime I relapsed, anytime I stretched into the night, looking at my phone and all that, I felt it. So I knew that, okay, this is the way to go. You need to keep yourself. You have to listen to professionals. And these things, they are not about drugs. And okay, sorry, I forgot to mention the fact that there was a time I was helping myself with sleeping pill. Though they call them a Panadol night or something. I told the doctor, I said, okay, no, 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 just take this and it will help you. So I did that for a while. But when I changed the lifestyle, stopping the phone, putting off the light, difficult though, I saw a marked, difference in my quality of sleep. My BP got better, level of concentration got better, and I was enjoying myself. Near full life. That's what I can just say.
I'm so glad to hear that you started enjoying yourself,
Yes,
because that's one thing about a positive lifestyle change. It's not supposed to be drudgery, like, oh, this is what the doctor is making me to do. I really don't want to do this. I'm being made to suffer. Other people are enjoying. I try to remind people that, see, you can have fun when you make a lifestyle change. So, and when you feel better about yourself, I think it's worth it, making
yes,
that change. So if I would recap what you've said, you took note that your phone was a major source of hindrance, to your sleeping well. And yes, our phones are actually devices that have what we call blue lights on them. And that blue light, in the spectrum of lights, wherever you have cold lights or cool lights, they tend to activate cortisol. There's something within our pituitary, our pituitary secretes certain hormones when we're about to go to bed. So it's supposed to secrete the hormone melatonin. Melatonin is a sleep hormone. So what happens is that when we're exposed to these bright lights close to bedtime, or if you put on the lights when you are supposed to be sleeping, your sleep is more likely to be disrupted. And in fact, you might have what we call a delay in sleep initiation. But we've discovered that with warmer lights, like orange lights, and interestingly, the orange lights, those are the ones that take more energy. And those are the ones that we try to avoid because we feel that we need this energy saving bulbs. Yeah. So the warmer lights are even better to be on just before bedtime. If you want to do some reading, you want a night lamp beside your bed, the yellow bulbs are preferable. These white bright lights, they actually induce the production of cortisol. So instead of your cortisol levels to drop, toward evening time, you find them still going up and your melatonin levels going down. And so that's one of the things that one can always tweak. Once you tweak it, it makes a difference and people begin to sleep better. And we don't only get the lights from our phones, but we also get them from the TV. I don't know how many people here love TV before bedtime. You want to listen to the 10 o'clock news just before going to bed. Yeah. Sometimes, yeah, it's good to listen to news, but if you know that the news is going to be distressing, because there's so much going on across the world, globally, there are a lot of events that when you hear them, you're like, my goodness gracious, what's happening again? And you hear about another plane crash, another bomb blast. I remember the night my husband was trying to tell me about this man who was virtually strangulated in broad daylight. I didn't want to listen because it was close to my bedtime. And I knew that once I heard about that, I would just keep on thinking about the poor man or thinking about that event. And once those events keep going round and round in your head, then you won't be able to sleep. It might not be the same for everybody. There are some people who would fall asleep without any problems. But if it becomes a chronic thing, something that you do habitually, it can actually lead to a disruption in your sleep pattern. I know one of the reasons why you want to do something about your sleep is because it's been associated with lifestyle-related diseases. There are some hormones that have to do with our appetite that are supposed to be secreted at night. So that's hormone that controls your appetite. If you don't sleep at night, if you don't sleep properly, then the hormone will not have enough time to act. And so you find out that during the day, your cravings for certain meals or certain foods begin to increase. So there was a study that showed that people who didn't sleep well at night, who had chronic sleep deprivation, they sought out more calories. In fact, if I remember clearly, that study said they sought out calories in excess of 300 compared to people who slept well at night. And you wouldn't know that was what, you won't know that that's what's happening. It was a study that revealed this, but you wouldn't know that, oh, that's the reason why you're having this craving for saturated fats, that meals that contain saturated fats. And what are those meals? All these pastries contain saturated fats, industrially baked goods, they contain saturated fats, meats. So you just find yourself craving for some of those things. I know someone who, when he's stressed, he craves for chocolates. You just find yourself craving for chocolates. Chocolates are nice, but by the time you take them every now and then it will predispose to weight gain. And so we see people coming down with overweight, obesity, and then that now leads to type 2 diabetes through insulin resistance. So there are so many things, that could go wrong just from not having a good night's rest. And there was something that you pointed out. You pointed out that you were taking Panadol nights at some point. Yes, so a lot of people end up taking pills, Lexotan, diazepam, nitrazepam, and different types of pills just because they want to sleep at night. But those things are supposed to be used for just very short periods, because we can become tolerant. So it's good that we learn to do it the lifestyle way and not to take a pill for every ill. So I'm so happy to hear that your quality of life, improved once you were able to sleep better. Was there any other thing that you tried to change, in relation to your diet, on physical activity, were you
on physical activity? Sorry, finish your comment.
Yeah, so that's it. I just want to know whether there's anything you're doing in terms of exercise that you think would have also improved your sleep.
Yes, exercise is almost a permanent part of me. Actually, I try to do that every morning before I try to let the sweat break before I enter the bathroom. And but at that time, I was doing it in the morning. It wasn't really helping me at night that time, But I've not stopped that. I'm still doing that. At least I do it almost every day the depth might vary based on my activity for the day. The exercise, I do that quite regularly, except I'm really choked in the morning. That's when I will not exercise my body. I at least three different types, push-ups, press up, crunches. My son said I should stop doing the crunches because I don't need too much of biceps again, but I still do it. Then I jog, I walk around the house. I don't need to go out. Yeah, I walk around the house. Once my sweat breaks, then I enter the bathroom to start the day. I do that regularly. In terms of meal, at the moment I'm in the northern part of Nigeria, and that gives the opportunity to actually access food. Um, I indulge in that now. Then I wasn't. I think after I spoke with Dr. Ori, she mentioned it in the course of, so I took more attention, you know, on that. I said, okay, I have to do this compulsorily, so to say, so that at least I can help my uh, health system. So I do that a lot now. It's cheap around there. Sorry to say, it's cheap around there. Maybe it's difficult to get in Lagos, not difficult to get in the northern part of Nigeria. So I indulge in that and I enjoy it.
Okay, that's good, sir. Very heartwarming. So you think that the exercises, when you moved it from morning to evening or afternoon, it helped? You think
Yes, in the evening.
You slept more?
Correct. In the evening, yes, in the evening, difficult to do though because at times you are very tired. But when I started in the evening, then it helped me. But since I changed all those phone issues, the lighting issues, I think I didn't need to do exercises at night. So
Okay.
my regime remained the morning, stayed in the
Okay.
morning. So I stayed in the morning. I do it in the morning.
Okay. That's nice to note, really. And the reason why I'm saying so is that studies actually show that if you exercise too close to bedtime, it can actually affect your sleep. Too close to bedtime. But actually, I've encountered a few of my patients who, when they exercise in the evening, it said it helps them better. Their sleep is better, but we encourage people generally to sleep more during, to exercise more during the day. So you can do your early morning exercise, and then it's good to expose yourself to some measure of sunlight because there's something that we call the sleep-wake cycle. So if you are indoors all day and you haven't exposed yourself to any form of sunlight, that can also affect your sleep pattern. So if you expose yourself to early morning sunlight and you walk around during the course of the day, and when you're not just at your desk or your table in the office, where you take time to just get up and move around, all those have a cumulative effect and also help to improve the quality of sleep. Just like you mentioned, it's not enough to say I've slept for 6-7 hours, but how good was the quality of sleep? I've seen people who slept for 8 hours and they are waking up, they're not refreshed. It could be that the environment where they slept in wasn't really conducive. There was a lot of noise, and so they kept on tossing and turning, and so they couldn't relax at night. So all those things will definitely affect the sleep, both the sleep pattern and then the quality of sleep. So let's find out from people. We have more people in the house. Okay. Welcome once again to all lifestyle champions. So glad to have you here this evening for this BYC. We've been listening to Mr. Oyewole. He has shared his story, how he made a personal lifestyle change when he discovered he wasn't sleeping well. He was sleeping for just about 3 to 4 hours at night, and he ended up having headaches, not able to concentrate well at work. And he discovered that his blood pressure was going up as well. And so he called a friend, and his friend linked him up with LCI, even though his wife is a member of LCI. So, but he just took it a bit more seriously just because a friend pointed this out to him. And so he has shared a few things with us about how he made some lifestyle changes. And I find it very interesting. You know, once he listened to one of our podcasts, and he made the major change that he made had to do with his phone. He discovered that I was always on his phone, you know, toward bedtime. And once he took that out of the picture, he discovered that he was sleeping better. Do we have questions for him? If you have a question. Oh, okay. I have a comment here. Okay, so someone saying amazing. Wow, well done. Okay. And then someone says, really, I didn't know about the lights. Yes, lights. Lights induce insomnia. So, and when we're saying insomnia, insomnia just means inability to sleep. So we also have sleep deprivation. Sleep deprivation sometimes can be intentional, you know, in that you are trying to stay awake on purpose because you want to read, you want to catch up, you want to do something at night. But sometimes the things that we make intentional, they can become habitual. And when your body learns from that behavior, then you could have a problem sleeping. So I have a comment here from Mr. Oyewole. He's saying, I will appreciate the use of less professional terminologies. And if not, layman language should be used inter alia for the non-medical to understand. Okay, please, is there any word that I've used? I would try to break it down. I'm always conscious of that because I know that we are not all medical personnel. So please, if there's anything I've said that is not so clear, please point it out to me. I would rephrase. But now we want some questions for our speaker, or if you have any questions for me as your hosts, we just want to find out if you have concerns or you need clarifications about what we have talked about today. The major issue that Mr. Oyewole had was sleep. He had an issue with sleep. And so he was able to make adjustments, less use of his phone. He was able to exercise more and also watch his diet and reduce. Maybe he needs to tell us what exactly he reduced. And he took more fruits. Yes, I think he said he took more fruits and veggies. Yes. Was there anything in your diet that you stopped? Was there anything you were taking that you decided to take less of?
The ratio I was reduce the carbohydrates and do more veg. So I just doubled my veg intake and deliberately reduce the carbohydrates.
Okay. So he reduced carbohydrates intake. I know taking a lot of carbohydrates close to bedtime is one of the things that can make you to wake up at night. It can disrupt your sleep. It can wake you up to go to the bathroom. And a lot of people, once they wake up to go to the bathroom at night, they find it difficult to go back to bed. Okay, so Mr. Oyewole is raising up his hands. Would you want to ask anything, sir? Please, you can unmute yourself.
I want to say good evening to everyone in the house, and I want to appreciate the initiator of this program, which is already adding to exceeding burden on knowledge. Apparently, I joined a little bit late. The question I want to ask is, I don't really know, is it the cost of the mattress I lay upon that when one wakes up in the morning, you look so hectic, tired, waist pain, and at times backache? So I don't really know. Or is it the carryover of the...
Hearing him. But the question he's asking, what I heard him ask is, he wakes up at night, wakes up in the morning after a night rest, still feeling tired and having body pains and back aches, and is wondering if it could be due to the mattress or could it be due to anything else. So waking up with body pains in the morning, there are several things that could result in this. You know, if the if you really have a very hard mattress, that could be a problem. And if you have a mattress that is too soft as well, which as soon as you lay on the bed, the mattress just goes down, maybe there's a spring or something, and you just find yourself in one corner of the mattress due to the fact that it has gone in because of your weight. That can result in pain. I've experienced that before. I was sleeping on a mattress that had springs. So as soon as I got on the mattress, I find myself, rolling over to one side, and eventually I would wake up with body pains. But it was when I changed my position, when I changed the mattress, then I discovered that I wasn't having those pains. So that could be a reason. The same thing goes for your pillow. If your pillow is hard or it's too high, then it can also result in neck pain and body pains. But another important thing that can cause body pains on waking up in the morning is arthritis. So people who, once you hit the age 50, that's one of the criteria for developing osteoarthritis. Osteoarthritis just means a degenerative process when there is a wear and tear around a joint in the body, and it can occur along the spine, right from the neck down to the lower back. It can occur in the shoulders, it can occur at the wrists, it can occur in the knees and in the ankles. But the most common sites for osteoarthritis are the knees and the lower back. So your posture is also important too. There are several things that can be done, in order to reduce the pain from osteoarthritis. And I'm sure a lot of us were around when Dr. Itape gave that webinar talking about arthritis. And he said a lot about arthritis, how we can curb it, the different things that can cause it. So we've discovered that being active, being mobile most of the day can actually reduce the risk of developing arthritis, because it will help with the joints to keep it supple and all of that. It can also help with the bone mass to reduce weakening and softening of the bones. So that's a whole lot. But if you want to listen to that lecture again, it's actually on our YouTube channel. There are a lot of nuggets in that lecture. So there's so many things, and I might not be able to see everything, but it's important to just check your sleep hygiene. Check that you are going to bed in a comfortable bed, comfortable environment. You have reduced carbohydrates before bedtime. There's a question there that I can see that says, okay, I'm even seeing some more comments here. Okay, so somebody was asking whether there are any meals that can improve our sleep quality, and whether there are some that can contribute negatively. So the foods that can contribute negatively to sleep are a high carbohydrate load towards bedtime, because it will make you get up to pee, and that can disrupt your sleep. Alcohol, caffeine. In fact, you shouldn't take caffeine, within 6 to 8 hours of bedtime. That can disrupt your sleep. Saturated fats is one of the things that can disrupt your sleep. High sugar meals. You find out that if you give a child something that has high sugar content just before bedtime, they won't go to bed. They become so hyper. It's because it stimulates the production of cortisol, and you find them not wanting to go to bed. There's some people that you even start to call kerosene just because they didn't get to go to bed on time. Grandma here with me has her mother alive. Wow. Her mom is 105. She says that after 5 p.m., she doesn't eat again till the following day. Oh my goodness. I think we need to learn from Grandma. Grandma Oki, God bless you, ma. I'm not sure that's your surname, because Abimbola is married. Grandma, that's awesome. I'm so impressed. I'm so impressed. I think we should give it up for her. Her own mom is 105. Wow. So I think we can take a lesson from that actually. Mr. Jaja is saying mine is 1 day sleep. The next night, I'll find it difficult to sleep. And if I wake up at night to pee, to sleep back out, it will be very difficult for me. Sometimes I'll be awake throughout the night if I mistakenly wake up in the middle of the night. Yes, sir. So that is all that we're talking about. We have to look for ways that you would not get up in the middle of the night to say you want to go to the bathroom. And so I shared a little mnemonic in a YouTube video just last month that talks about lifestyle hacks to get you to sleep more easily. And one of the things we talked about was less fluid at night. So once it's getting towards 7, reduce your fluid intake so that doesn't get you up to go to the bathroom. So just look for the things, try and pinpoint the things that make you wake up at night to go to ease yourself. And if you get thirsty at night, what I encourage is that you put a bottle of water at your bedside so that if you are thirsty and you wake up and you need a drink, you don't have to get up out of bed and walk all the way to the dining room, to the refrigerator to take water. You can just take a little swig of water from your bottle by the side of your bed. That's what I do. Because if I decide to get up from my bed and walk, you just become alert. Your melatonin levels will drop. And that's the sleep hormone. So once your melatonin levels drop, then you find it very difficult to go back to sleep. So I think that's one of the things that you need to take cognizance of. And you can go back and watch that video as well as a reminder. So a question here, how many hours of sleep is best for adults? Yes, so for adults, the recommended duration of sleep based on recommendations by the World Health Organization is 7 to 8 hours. 7 to 8 hours of sleep is recommended for you to be able to carry out your daily activities normally. So you might be thinking, where am I going to get 7 hours of sleep from? You know, it has to do with your priority. And I discovered that right now, because people are involved in so many things right now, you know, they feel that sleep is not a priority. And someone told me once that sleep is for the weak. In fact, I wrote an article on that. Is sleep for the weak? You know, it's because it doesn't seem to be a priority right now. But I discovered that as people get older and they begin to come down with chronic lifestyle related diseases, they begin to ask questions. Is there something I'm not doing right? But what we are preaching in Lifestyle Champions International is don't wait for things to go wrong before you choose the right habits. Let's choose life now. Let's choose life-giving values now. Choose to sleep adequately now so that you can have a restorative sleep now. Choose to eat right now. Choose to do away with free sugars, baked goods, and many of those processed foods. Don't wait till your BP goes up. Don't wait till you get type 2 diabetes. Okay, so Bimbo is also saying that she didn't start later in life. It's been a habit for a long time, not eating late at night. And this is so important because people that eat late at night, they tend to develop what we call the middle age spread. And I remember one of our members, Mr. Badebo, when he shared his story, he said he was looking like a pregnant woman at some point. But he said that eating late night meals was one of the culprits. He could eat at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, but he stopped all that. He stopped all those processed foods. He would come every day, he would take maybe a meat pie and a bottle of Coke or something. But he said immediately he let go of all those habits. He noticed that was one of the first things that went down his tummy. So I think that if we adopt that early enough, then we'll end up being healthy persons. A speaker says, if you want to be wealthy or rich, you should sleep less. He says only a poor man will sleep 8 hours. Well, that's the culture that we are breeding, really. That's the sleep culture. In the US, in Africa, there's an organization beside me here where someone says that if you sleep 8 hours a night, you have slept away 1/3 of your life. That's what people believe. But I'm a Christian, and I read the Bible, and I believe God's word. And God's word tells me that he gives his beloved sleep, that God gives the people that he loves sleep. So I tell myself I'm the beloved of God, and God has given me a gift, and that gift is sleep. And I'm going to embrace that gift. And we have enough studies, we have enough research that shows that people that have chronic sleep deprivation, 5 hours of sleep a night is actually associated with an increased risk of heart attacks. It's associated with an increased risk of heart attacks, people that sleep just 5 hours a night. So if you are sleeping just 5 hours a night, then you need to be coached. You need to see your physician. You need to do something about it. It's not normal. That is not what God designed for our bodies. Someone said it's really hard. We need to work, self-care and all that. I read the story about someone, a very big time entrepreneur, CEO, business mogul and all that. He was exercising every day. He never missed going on his jogs and all that, but he barely slept 5 hours every night. In spite of all his wealth, in spite of all the access to physicians and everything he had, this guy died of a heart attack. And some people, when they tried to analyze his lifestyle, they felt it was because he was not getting enough sleep. So if we think it's not a priority to sleep and we want to get all our work done at night, and you don't make up for it in any way, and it's habitual, it's chronic, and the time you want to sleep, you now don't find that sleep, then you're going to end up with these lifestyle related problems. Okay. Or Recolade is sharing something with us. I don't know. What link is that? Okay, this is the YouTube video on the lifestyle hacks on sleep. So I would encourage all of us to go and watch that. We have the part 1, we have the part 2. Do we have any last minute questions? We have this session for just 1 hour every month, the BYC session, in which we invite an esteemed member or follower to share their story, how they made a lifestyle change, a positive lifestyle change, and that the impact it has made on their lifestyle. Do we have any more questions or comments? It's been so wonderful reading our comments and listening to our suggestions. I'm still scrolling down. Okay. So I want to really encourage us. It's possible. Think about it. When we want our business to grow, look at all the business strategies that you put in place just to make that business grow. You want to pass an important exam. I remember how hard I prepared for my postgraduate exams. When I was writing my case report and all of that, I put in so much. But how many of us put in this much effort into a healthy lifestyle just to be sure that we are fine, and that, we are there for our children, our grandchildren. This is so important. We need to make it a priority. And that's why we're lifestyle champions. So, and we're not doing it in our strength. We're trusting God because we know God is the giver of life. And we trust him to keep us whole in mind and body. Okay, so we have another question. Mark, can you form a WhatsApp group where you can be sending advice on lifestyle? Actually, we have a Telegram platform because the Telegram platform takes more people. And so all the information that we're sharing here, we usually send that to the Telegram platform. Are you on that platform? Is everyone here on that platform? If you are not, I think Ore can also share the link to the platform before we leave. Are we okay with that? I'm sure most of us here on that platform, it's just that we need to check it out from time to time. People don't visit Telegram as often as we visit WhatsApp. But if you really want to be on a WhatsApp group, we have this 60-day challenge group that we had. You know, we could convert that into a group for people who want to join, because the information we share on our Telegram page, we normally share there, but we don't want to overburden people unnecessarily. But I think that maybe we'll make that available for people who want to join the WhatsApp platform, so that we can also share more information there. I hope you're happy with that. Yes, please. We would like to invite everybody else to the Telegram page. Yes. So any last minute words for us, Mr. Oyewole, before we go?
I would just say that to enjoy all that we've worked for, all that we've aspired to be, we have to ensure that we have healthy lifestyle. For me, it was a case of sleep, and I've shared I was able to, through the advisory I got from BCI, I was able to actually improve my quality of sleep, and my health was restored because it was going south at that time. So that's just my encouragement for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. He said his health was going south until it took those positive lifestyle changes. So we congratulate you, sir. And please, can you just put a shout out in the box for Mr. Oyewole to appreciate him for taking the time to be vulnerable, you know, to open up and tell us all that he did to ensure that his health, you know, got back. He got back a good health.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So I want to appreciate every one of us again. Okay, we have one last question here. Can poor night's sleep be compensated for in the afternoon? Okay, yes, you can. You can compensate in the afternoon. So now, maybe I should also explain that melatonin is a very important hormone. In fact, it has been referred to as the only anti-cancer hormone in our bodies, in the human body. And melatonin is primarily secreted at night. Towards 6 p.m., you find yourself becoming drowsy because cortisol levels are dropping and melatonin levels are rising. So what happens is that typically, because of the sleep-wake cycle and, you know, some of the other things that God has put in place, melatonin begins to drop in the early morning, as from about 5, 6. But, you know, some of us, we actually have to push ourselves, you know, to wake up, you know, either because you have put on your alarm, or you splash water on your face, or you have devotion or prayers or something. You find out that you just have to wake yourself up. And the way to wake yourself up is to bring down the levels of melatonin. And once you expose yourself to light, to noise, activity, your melatonin levels begin to drop. So there's one other time during the day when your melatonin levels come up again naturally, and that's around the hours between 2 and 3. You know, melatonin levels rise again during that time. So that is a good time to take a nap. But if you begin to take a nap anytime after 4 o'clock, you're not likely to get a good night's rest, because your body will want to compensate. So you find out that your sleep will be delayed because you slept in the afternoon. But if you sleep maybe between 2 and 3 and you take what we call a power nap is not more than 20 to 30 minutes. And you just sleep for that time, you find yourself, you know, becoming refreshed and alert after, you know, a power nap. But your power nap should not be more than 30 minutes. Otherwise, it's also going to affect your night sleep. And your night sleep is very important. So let's see how we can harness the effects of melatonin, a very important hormone. Let's not delegate its activity. Okay. For people who have to do night duty, yes, what I usually advise is that if you have to be on night duty as a doctor, as a nurse, once you get back to the house, sleep. Don't start going about, trying to do chores, trying to do things. Get someone else to do what you would have done in that early morning period and get your rest. Because if you don't get your rest at that time, melatonin levels would have gone down and you find it difficult to really sleep well at some other time during the day. But of course, if you need to catch up at any time, please feel free to. But if you are trying to work on sleeping at night, it's good to avoid taking a nap during the day. So I think this is where we're going to end it. It's 7 p.m. And we'll continue our conversations on Telegram and our other chat pages. Thank you once again for joining us. So you can unmute yourself and just say bye-bye as we log out. If you wish to.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a good evening.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye.
God bless you all.
Hello, Dr. Ore.
Oh, Mrs. Olajupo, God bless you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Dr. Idowu, God bless you.
Good evening.
Baba
Good
today,
evening,
thank you for joining us.
I really
Reverend,
appreciate
God bless you, sir. Oh, Mr. Rokungi, Shola, God bless you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Dr. Lani, God bless you. Tishe, thank you for joining us. Dr. Fatusi, thank you. Mr. Olabi, thank you, thank you. Dr. Yebimpe, thank you for joining us. Mr. Bonuola, thank you. Orekolade, thanks for being an amazing co-host. So see, Dr. Nanklin, God bless you. Thanks for staying on till the end.
Thank you. Good evening.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.